I want us to do this session entirely for organizations in South Africa that have got interest in the small grants. You would have realized that we sent in our group the link from the Environmental Justice Fund, where they've called for proposals. So we thought it's important, as we are leading the network, to be important for us to open space for our members to be able to get more information with regards to that particular fund. So we then engaged the funder, who decided to then say they will be able to come through and assist in terms of explaining, so that they are able to give you information. So already we have Mr. Vuyo Mtonichi. Sorry, my brother, to actually pronounce your surname wrongly. But we have got Vuyo here, who is from the Environmental Justice Fund, who will then take us through what the fund looks like and what is the criteria. Colleagues, I hope you understood that part. And if that's the case, I don't think we'll definitely need to do the introductions individually. I'll request that all of us write on the chat box. You write your name, the organization that you come from, so that we are able to then produce the time or register that we'll use after this particular session. Vuyo, I will hand over to you, my brother, just to then introduce yourself. But after that, I want to believe that you can also maybe just take us through. Once you are done with your presentation, we will then open the floor for questions from our members, who will then, if they need clarity, they will ask you some few questions. And from there, we will be done with our session. I aim to have this session less than an hour. If it's really, really too bad, it will be an hour. Thank you so much. I'll give then to Vuyo. Vuyo? Vuyo, are you able to hear me? Colleagues, I just want to confirm, if you are able to hear me, you can just do the reaction there if you can hear me. Correct. Thank you so much, colleagues. I was saying we are then now going to give to the funder, Mr. Vuyo, who is then representing Environmental Justice Fund. Vuyo will introduce himself and then take us through what the fund looks like in terms of the criteria and all the requirements. Vuyo, I'll hand over to you, my brother. Do the presentation. When you are done, we will then open the floor for our members who will come through with some few clarity questions, and then we will close the session from there. I'll hand over to you now, Vuyo.
No, thanks. I don't think I have to show my face. Maybe I'll do so in the end. I've shared my screen already. actually, this are Talifana, I think I would prefer it to do it this way. If maybe someone has a question, can just ask me the question so that we deal with them as we move, so that I don't become really like a, you know, quote unquote, a pastor where I speak alone. I
No,
think it's
I
always
agree.
better when, yeah, it's always better when we are having a conversation rather. So I'll prefer us to have it in that style. But my name is
Okay.
Vuyo or Vuyolethu Mtoninchi. I work at the Environmental Justice Fund. The Environmental Justice Fund is really a newish sort of fund that was started by activists. It is also for activists. So we provide funds, but we also provide strengthening and capacity support to all the organizations that we are funding. So I will spend a lot of my time on maybe a little bit on the criteria. Yeah, so like I've said here on who we are, so we provide grants and also what we call accompaniment. So our
Sorry,
accompaniment,
Vuyo.
you can't hear me?
No, I wanted to ask you, are you able to do it in a presentation mode? Just a slide mode so that we can see a full screen.
Okay, let me see.
Come down here, just next to the minus sign. You hit that small screen there. Will be perfect. Here we
No,
go.
thanks. I'm not well off in technology, but thank you very much.
No, this is fine, my brother. That's why we're here.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so like I've said before, so we normally use a different model called the participatory grant making model, meaning that the people who take decisions on applications are also activists. So they sit in what we call a grants committee, which is a committee of all the activists yeah, so it's them who actually takes a decision. So it's not the board of EJF nor the staff of EJF. So meaning I'm not responsible for taking a decision on who gets support or who doesn't get support. So it's more normally activists like all of you and people who are also part of organizations like yourselves. So they also apply to sit in this committee, and then they also take the decisions on behalf of everyone else. So that's basically the system that we have adopted. It's called a participatory grant making model. Really, the idea is that the decision on who gets support should not be taken by maybe an isolated board member who doesn't even run any sort of CPO or an NGO, or sometimes in most instances, someone who sits just somewhere in New York or sits somewhere in Johannesburg, but has to take decisions of organizations who have applied and sometimes don't understand the context and the community context. So the idea is to try and disrupt those sort of norms. So here we have people like all of you who apply and sit in the committee and take decisions on behalf of everyone else. So that's really the grant making model that we actually take. Like I've indicated there on our structures, that we have the board, we have the grants committee, and we have the staff. I think what you would really need to take a look at the moment would just be who sits on our grants committee more than anything else, because in the form there's a place where we say if you have a conflict of interest with anyone who will be taking a decision on your application, please do let us know so that we can see how best possible it is to deal with that conflict of interest. So here, these are the type of things that we fund, but we have a very broad understanding of environmental justice. So we take a very expansive approach. Whatever that you can able to convince us or convince that committee that it fits within the environmental justice, therefore you can be able to put in your application and explain. But here I've just put in one or a few of the ones that we have received, I think most in the last 2 years of the existence of EJF. So these really are just the kind of things that we are currently funding, and also quite a lot of stuff that we have received through our application process in the last 2 years. So those are more or less a data that I've just pulled out on what I think most people have been asking for. But like I'm saying, this is not an exhaustive list. There's quite more and quite a broad stuff around environmental justice. So you are welcome to to interpret it in your way, and also then put in your, and then we can deal with it from there. And the kind of things that we fund, so we do fund an event, you can organizing or campaigns, community-led research, or those wants to litigate, we also do so, community educational initiatives, and also what is also quite popular from CBOs these days, from what I've seen, is also organizational and strengthening initiative, office, or people looking for office space, people looking for a workshop to capacitate themselves. So we are seeing quite a lot of those, and people wanting to buy equipment. Yes?
Yeah, I see there is a hand from Mandy. Do we allow her
there's
to
one
come
already.
Already.
Okay, can I just finish that one part? Then I'll definitely do so. Unless maybe
Okay.
it is on something. Yeah. I just wanted to finish this part on who's eligible. Then I can take those questions. Mandy, I've noted you first. Okay, so here you will see. So you must be an organization or a network. You must be based and part of a community, and you must be making an environmental justice issue, and you must also be based in South Africa. So we don't support anyone who's not based in South Africa, and we don't support. Can you hear me? I think I've lost someone there.
Yes,
Tim,
we
can
can
hear
hear you very well.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Oh, perfect. So you must be an organization or a network. By network, I mean you can be like yourselves. You can be a group of 5 or 6 or any other number of people who are concerned about environmental issue in the community. Perhaps it's waste and recycling, and or you have a problem with illegal dumping, and you combine yourself in a group of 5 or 6 or 3 people, and then you can also be eligible to apply. But what we do not fund is only an organization of 1 person or 1 person. And then typically we do not fund those ones, unless it is what you will see in the end. It is an exception as an emergency grant, and maybe if your life is in danger for doing the work that you are doing, therefore in those instances we can be able to fund you and sometimes your family as well, if you need funds to relocate or to go to a safe house or something like that. But that normally deals with human rights and environmental defenders. Normally it's them who normally ask for that funding. So you must also be community. If, for instance, it's only whatever that you are doing that is environmental in nature doesn't benefit the community that you are part of, you are also not likely to receive the fund from us. At least there should be a benefit to the community that you are serving or that you are part of, and not just for you. For instance, I can make an example for maybe those who are in farming, who are doing stuff around cooperatives. You will find that there are 3 members of this cooperative, and they are doing farming in a specific community, and all the profits and everything that they get out of what they are doing only goes to the 3 of them and no one else. So in those instances, the community really doesn't benefit. Therefore, we can't really classify you as being part or being a member of a community that you are serving. I just wanted to work on those. Yes, I think there was Mandy.
Yeah, thank you. I think I had made a mistake.
Hello?
It's actually, yes, please go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you mentioned my name.
Yeah, I had made a mistake and said you raised the question. It was actually Chele, is it Chelen? I'm
Thank
so
you
sorry,
so much.
Chele.
It's called Cheryl, and thank you so much. Thank you, Rio. I just have a question. Like when you talk about the eligible people that can apply, I want to, for clarity's sake, does that mean P2Y Ltd is like excluded? That's my first question. Private companies.
Yes.
Yes. Second question is that how long does the grant like actually like stretch? Because like I'm in skills development, so normally like you probably have grants that's to 3 to 12 months is a training programs. And if you're in skills development, should it only be accredited or can it be non-accredited as well? Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks. So our grants are a year. So they run for a year. That's the duration. And even if it's non-credited, that's still also fine. Yes. We have another one.
No, thank you.
Can I move on? Okay. You will see there, that's the size. I was still coming to that, but I thought let me answer it. So that's how basically our lengths are looking like. It's a year. And also the grant starts from 50 to 100,000. Really, they are really designed for sort of CPOs or community-based organizations. And the duration for the emergency grants is 6 months. Typically, the amount there, they don't really go beyond 50,000 for those ones. But that's the length. The reason why we have the length of to be this nature, it's because what we have actually found, because we provide support beyond just money, in sort of capacity strengthening workshops on content, workshop on leadership or governance that the organization has. We also support organizations that are not registered, that don't have bank accounts. So now we need to also assist them to get registered either as a NPC or NPO with the PPO status, depending on the kind and the nature and the character of their registration or what they seek to do. So also that also takes a little bit of time. So that's why we ensure that all our grants are a year, so that we are also able to assist with all the capacity strengthening related part of the grant. So that money then that comes from the money that does that, the capacity strengthening part, doesn't form part of the amount that will be given. So if I give you 100,000 for the year, so that 100,000 is for the activities that we have asked for. Thereafter, let's say during the period of the grant, you say, look, I have a problem with my leadership, or the board doesn't understand their roles and responsibility. Some people also in my leadership, so we need a training on governance. So what then I will do, you can then suggest if you know any consultant or anyone you would think can be able to work with you to fix the problem that the organization has identified. You can let me know, and then we pay that person and pay for yourself also to be there in the workshop and attend it. If it's a typical those workshops, sometimes are 3-4 days, and then we can be able to do so. So that's why alternatively, so people ask for different things, but I'm just trying to provide a little bit of an example. But all of that it doesn't form part of the money that we'll be giving we'll be giving you. So that also forms part of the pot that we already have at EJF that we will just provide. So the amount that we are granted to is just for you to do the activities that you said you wanted to do. So basically that's how our length is, and the reason why all the grants are here. So basically, like I've said before, or like I think it was said in the invitation, so I have issued a call, so we do so once a year. So when I've done, we will then read and ensure that and see who meets the criteria, who doesn't meet the criteria. And also there are 3 ways to really apply. The first, you can do so online. The other one, you can do so via an email. That means you can download the form and then fill in the form either by hand, or you can type it and then you can send it to an email, proposals@ejffunza.org.za. Or if really you are unable to do the other 2, you can also send it via WhatsApp, meaning you can either apply via WhatsApp, or you can fill in the proposal form and then take pictures of the WhatsApp, and then you can send it to my number. You will see also on the proposal form, 078-291-0014. And you can also apply in any language that you want to apply, but we have 6 that currently we do have proposal forms for. English, Afrikaans, Zulu, Tswana, Sotho, Sepedi. I'm forgetting one. Yeah, I think those are the 6 that we do have, but it doesn't preclude you from applying in any other official South African language. Don't use it like a local one that we do not, well, I guess it's not really recognized. So that's basically the language. So after that, then we will screen all of them. And then the grants committee will then make those deliberations and determine who gets the support, who doesn't get the support. And then our duty then would be to let you know if you're successful or you're not successful, and you are, if you are, and then we will discuss all the grant agreements and then sign everything, and then the grant will be good to go. So normally this process, hopefully this time around, we can start our granting period in May, from May to June. Yeah, from May to June. So that's basically the plan internally. So that's in all, or in 10, the process that we have, and also the process that we have employed. I will do a little bit of few stuff that maybe towards the end, if there are still no other questions, that on some of the stuff that we can probably do in the proposals, and also some of the stuff that we can avoid. But that is not really related, I think, to the criteria related stuff. So I thought maybe let me take you through this stuff first. Not sure if there are more questions or any points where you want me to repeat. I'm happy to do so. Mr. T, I'll give it back to you.
It looks like you are explaining this very clearly, because I don't see hands. Colleagues, do we have any clarity seeking question or a comment that you want to bring forward to Vuyo?
No, I'm clear on my side. Thank you.
Okay, I see a hand from the Universal Branding Organization. Do we have a question?
Thank you, Chair. Just want to go straight to Mr. Vuyo. Can you just elaborate more on the process that you are saying, that it is possible that an organization that is not well registered or it's not complying may still apply the funds? So can you just elaborate more on that? Thank you.
Vuyo?
Yes, that's true. So what we then do is so the current organizations that we are funding so far, there were few that were not registered, few that were already registered. So the idea here is that we're also looking to fund sort of newly established organizations who are not even registered. That's also fine. They do apply, and we do also give them funding, even if they don't have any bank account. But what we normally do, if we don't have any bank account, we find what for you is called a physical agent, an organization that does have a bank account and some structures in place. Then that organization will keep your money on your behalf, but you just have to comply with their own processes. So that organization can either be found by you if you have an organization that you work with and trust to keep the money, or if you don't have any, we can find one for you, and then they can keep that money on your behalf. But you just have to know that you have to comply with that organization's processes, and also that you will remain responsible to account for the for the funds and also how you have utilized them. But then what happens in the meantime between ourselves and you, we then try and work sort of some processes to see how best can we be able to get you to a place where you are registered, and also you are able to handle your own finances in the future, or by the time at least your grant ends. So basically that's the idea that we are doing. So the kind of profile of organizations that we take differs. So you have those that are more established, that can be able to handle their funds on their own, and also you have those ones who are not. So I think so the profile really differs. The idea is to try and be as inclusive as possible, because you will find that some other organizations are very deep and very rural, and they've never been exposed to almost anything. So we also want to give them that opportunity to be able to apply and also stand a chance to come in and also be assisted and capacitated. So basically that's really the idea behind everything. But it takes quite a lot of work, I must say. But yeah, that's what we normally do.
Thank you so much. Is there a follow-up question on that, or you are clarified?
No, I think Mr. Vuyo gave a very clear explanation. Thank you very much, Mr. Vuyo. Sure.
Okay, thank you. I see Lisejo.
Yes, thank you guys so much for this information session. So I just wanted to find out, in our foundation, we run a couple of projects that impact the environment or are related to environmental justice. In this particular proposal, would you advise that we send in one of them, or can we sort of include a comprehensive presentation on the different projects that we do run, and then from there your team will select which one can be funded?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I was going to come to it a little bit later. So this is what I advise that you do. One, you must tell us about the profile of just who your organization is and also what you do. Whether you focus on GBV or you focus on anything else, you can also let us know. What we are going to judge you on, it's the activities that you want to do. So if they are related to environmental justice, therefore we will only just look at the ones that are environmental justice. But what I then tend to say is that because the amount sometimes for some it's small, probably for your foundation, you can maybe say it's small if it's 100,000. So it wouldn't make sense to write all 5 or all 6. So basically you look at your best possible project that, as we have planned, that you think stands the chance of being able to make it, and then you just maybe strengthen and work on your proposal just specifically on that particular issue. We do understand that not all organizations, when they were established, were environmental justice, because it's an expanding. An organization expand and also organization grows. So that's normally what we judge, is on your activity, not maybe on your experience, that because you've been working on planting trees for 50 years, therefore it should only be you who gets the funding. But even if you only started planting trees this year or last year, that's also still very much fine. We look at the impact and also look at the activity that you want to do. That's what we judge. Yeah, that's what we judge. So that's maybe would be my advice to your question.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
look at
Rio.
just look at one strand that you think stands the best chance, and then just work with it, because organizations does quite a lot of things. So yeah, that would be my advice.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so much, Lesego. Let me not try the name. I'll call you by the surname, Ms. Boysen.
Thank you so much. Vio, I just have one question, like on the compliance side, when you were saying like the informal, does that mean the informal and the formal get judged on the same compliance when you're submitting the documents? And I'm talking now like if you're SARS compliant, does that also get judged or not?
No, we judge you the same. Yeah, no, we judge you the same. Yeah, we don't judge. Yeah, we judge you the same. It comes from a specific. I mean, we normally had a specific reasons for doing so, but yeah, but we judge you the same. But I think the idea really here is that even if you were not compliant, but we also try to see how best can we be able to assist you to be compliant in the future, so that we can work with you. Yeah. So the idea is to balance it out, the ones who have already done it and also the ones who have just never done it before. Then we can just balance it up.
All right. Thank you so much, Vio.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Lesego, is that the new hand or is a legendary hand?
Oh, no, sorry. That's my original hand. Sorry.
Okay. Cheza, I saw you had raised your hand. Do you still want to come forward? Okay, it seems we have lost her. Colleagues, are you clarified?
Hello?
Are you satisfied? Yes?
No, I was saying I'm covered.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cheza. Colleagues, are you satisfied? Or I see there's a hand from Sanelisiwe. Please come forward, Sanelisiwe.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I entered the meeting late. I thought it was at 7 for some reason, and maybe this has been attended to, so apologies in advance. But my question is around, would a person qualify, or how would they qualify if they don't necessarily have an organization? They're part of an organization, but it's not their organization necessarily, but they have years of environmental work experience. So that is non-profit work, pretty much, that is going out into communities, more along the lines of biodiversity conservation, advocacy, and stuff. And, you know, trying to bridge the gap between science and our communities. So getting yourself involved so you have the relevant experience, but you don't, and the passion is yours, because these programs, whether they're advocacy, outreach, whatever, they are initiated by you, and there's record of that. You do belong to an organization, it's just not yours. Is that person
You-
automatically disqualified? Yes,
I
Will?
would suggest to do it this way. I mean, it has come up quite a couple of times. That you take one or two of the organizations that you normally work with, and then you
Okay.
assist them to make the application, and then you work with them in that way. I think that's probably the best way, instead of you as a person only applying. So it's easy when it's that organization. But what normally you can do is others would submit profile of their executive or people who they are working with in execution of the activities. Then maybe they would mention then in the proposal that they are working with someone experienced who's been assisting them and mentoring them. The person will be involved in the execution of of the activities, and this person, I mean, maybe this person who has all this experience will take, maybe as part of the grant, will take 5,000 out of the amount that we get to be able to do this work. That's probably the best way you can be able to do it. But if you're an individual alone, we won't be able to do it.
Okay, I know, Vio. Thank you. I'm covered.
Anytime.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, is there anyone with, are you satisfied with the type of questions? Do you think there is something they're missing that you still want to clarify?
No, I'm happy to answer if there are more, that are coming up. But they're not really new questions. As I'm running all these sessions, more or less, I see everyone is more or less concerned about more or less the same issues. So I'm trying to touch more on those ones. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, anyone with a question? Did you talk about the closing date, Vuyo?
Yes, the closing date is the 1st of March. After that, I won't be taking any. And maybe let me just talk about one thing that also has people a little bit anxiety. What we also try to do, if you look at our website and organizations that we are currently funding, we're trying to get away from the idea of only funding organizations in Gauteng, Durban, or Cape Town. That sometimes has always been the norm. So we try and diversify as much as we can, geographically, women, so forth and so forth, so that our spread really try and reaches everyone. So that's also something that we also do, but it doesn't mean if you are in Gauteng, then you would you are not allowed to apply and you are not going to get the funds. There are others that we are currently funding who are in Gauteng and Cape Town and also Durban. But it's just not the vast majority. Like sometimes it's normally the norm. But we do take in all provinces. Our current spread, spreads across all provinces. It's just something that we are conscious of, but it doesn't mean you are being penalized. Because I mean, we are also trying to improve how things are being done internally. But we are getting there. It's not only Gauteng now and Cape Town and Durban. We are really trying to be as geographic as possible. So now we have almost everyone from all the provinces in the country.
Yeah, maybe just to assist, because I don't see the hands. Do you, for in case, let's say we apply this year and we get considered. I heard that your program, it's a 1-year program. Do you then, now that I am in your database and one of your grantees, maybe based on my performance, do you then now continue with that type of funding, or when you release a new one, I should apply again if I still qualify? Or if you fund me once, chances are I can get the funding for the next 5-10 years.
Definitely 5-10. So our system is quite different for those who are already grantees. So because we have to look at what you are saying, performance, activities, where the shortfalls. and then we renew the grant accordingly. So for them, we renew, but it's also not forever. There is a time frame because we have to open up space for others to come in. We can't be funding one organization forever. But we do renew for those who are internal, if they do well, or if they also want to renew the grant. Yeah. But they don't do the same activity if they want to do something different, because you understand things change. Maybe
Correct.
now you focusing on illegal dumping, and now because we have done awareness on illegal dumping, now you think it's best to start a recycling hub, and then you can train people on how to generate waste into something more profitable so that people can make profit out of it. Now you want to progress, you are also welcome to do so.
Oh, thank you so much. Vio, let me open the floor. If we do not get the questions, it then means people are
move.
satisfied. Yeah, then
Sure.
we'll move to the next one. Let me just open for the last time, colleagues. Let's get questions if they're there. But if you are satisfied, I can just allow Vuyo to give us the do's and the don'ts. Then we can then channel our program to a closure. I see we're already sitting at 37 minutes. My target is at least by 18 o'clock, we should have all left this platform. It looks like there is no hands. I saw you wanted to give us the do's and the don'ts. Are you able to do that?
Yes. Okay, let me just move someone. Okay, so I want to share the screen again. Yeah, maybe let me start here. No? The first thing that you must try to do, try to be as specific as possible in your applications. One of the things that people tend to do is not to be as specific as possible. Specifically, those who want to do either a workshop or anything that is to do with an awareness. I can make an example. If you're going to do a workshop, try to be specific in this way. Where is this workshop going to be held? How many people are going to attend? What's their spread? Is it youth? Is it old people? Is it young people? How many villages? If it's 5 villages, specify 5 villages. They will be in one place if it's one place, or you will be going to each of the 5 villages and doing those workshops for them. And also how long those workshops are also going to take place. So you really try to be as specific as possible. And also you have to show a long-term benefit and effect of what those workshops are also going to do. If, for instance, it's an awareness, which I know for most people, they love doing awareness-related stuff. Don't just maybe say, I want to do a climate change awareness project. That's not clear enough. I mean, what do you mean by awareness? Are you going to do door-to-door? Are you going to go on radio? Are you going to have pamphlets? Because awareness is also quite broad. So try and break it down and try and put yourself in the shoes of someone who has to deliberate, because the only time where they have to interact with the organization is only through this proposal. So you try and give them as much information as you can, but don't overburden them. But by try best to be as specific as possible, then it makes it very easy for the person then who has to make those determination on your proposal. I think the other one, do tell your story, because like only time I get to interact with your proposal. So tell your story. You can tell your story. Why did your organization, for instance, exist, and also what is the organization trying to do? So why are you even doing the work that you are doing? Because also a story is quite powerful for people who are actually reading the proposal. So also try to share your story. Also try to show a sense of collaboration. I can assure you that most funders, us as well, but they always love to see a sense of collaboration. One, I'm going to do a project of this nature and I'll be working with another organization. And also, yeah, show that collaboration, but at least it must be very clear that your organization applying will be the one that actually does the takes the leading role, but show that collaboration of other organizations that you'll be working with. And also do your homework about how much things cost, and also make sure that your budget actually adds up, because sometimes it's frustrating that people's budget that actually do not add up. Try to ensure that they do. I think, I'm not sure who I was speaking to. I think it was Lisejo. Here, try and include only one strand of your work in the proposal. Don't include all of it. Just include the one that you think will be able to make it. Don't overburden with us, and hopefully that one of them would stick. I always say don't overpromise. I'm a person who rather prefers to underpromise and overperform. Don't say you'll do 20 things, rather do 3 and do them well. So even that's what you must also show in your proposal. Don't say you'll be doing 50 workshops in 50 communities within a year. It's not possible. But if you can say you'll be doing 5, at least I can then say this is definitely something. This person is not really overpromising. This is possible. But then if you do, like you are saying, you said you will do 5 and then you do 8, that makes it means to me you've overperformed. Therefore, you have a chance of me renewing your grant than promising me 100 and then only doing 50. So yeah, try also to show that also in your proposal. I think I've said this one, but also this one is also quite, yeah, it's also quite something I always say. Please don't do it in the last minute, especially if it's an online. I receive a lot of applications after I've closed, people telling me stories about network connection, blah 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 blah. So try and do it as early as possible, but don't be like we can do it as early as possible, but not, do it early as possible. That's all I can say, but not too early. And if you have something that you are not sure of, I'll give out my number and contact details. Please do just ask. Always nice to just ask, and then that would be it. And I'm always there to respond. So these 3 things have to really align for the activities that you are going to be doing and the objectives of those activities, and the budget have to speak to each other, and they have to align. You'll see what I try to do here. So this is what I try to do here as an example of a workshop. So I'm saying here I want to hold a workshop on renewable energy and just transition for 36 youth and women activists in Komati, in Mpumalanga, 3 delegates from 12 communities. You also have to specify maybe which communities are those. And this is my objective, or what I want to, I want to achieve, to build a base and build network of comrades or of activists who are conscious on just transition and renewable energy, so that they are able to tackle the government-sponsored project in Komati. And I say it's 4 months, and I put in 80,000 and so. So yeah, so we must always try to make sure that even for yourself, those 3 things are actually aligning. The activities that you are doing and what you want to achieve out of those activities, and also your budget. So all these 3 things must always speak the same thing. So basically, I think just one of the few things I've just drawn out of maybe some mistakes I've seen in few proposals. It's just, I wanted just to emphasize only those few things. If maybe there is none and there's still time, I'm happy to still continue. But if there are questions, I'm happy to also take some questions. Maybe if anyone has some stuff around proposal. I do have a manual that we have written on proposals, and I'm happy to also share, and some of the do's and don'ts, but it's in more detail. Maybe that will be helpful, not only just for this purpose, maybe, but just in also your proposal writing in general. Like what I always say is that proposal writing is a skill, and it takes quite a lot of time. And I'm also even myself still learning to draft it. So don't feel too phased. It's okay. No one of us is actually an expert in writing proposals. It's a very difficult process, but we at least all of us must just always try to keep on improving where we can.
Thank you so much, Vuyo. I see there are comments on the chat box. We'll take note of all the comments, but I see there is a hand again from Ms. Boysen. Please take over.
Thank you, Vio. That's encouraging words. The last one on the project writing. I just have one question. When you were talking about like, so let's say your workshop or your capacity building is focused on enterprises. Like, do you have to list them all, or can you just like state this is the amount of people, or what is the suggestion there or advice there?
No, just list. Don't list them all, but just mention the approximate number of people that you think you expect to, that you intend to at least train. I know it will go up or it can go down, but at least an affirmation that is 30 people or is 10 people, and not just say I'm going to do a workshop on waste management and leave it there. I think that's not specific enough. At least if it's a workshop on waste management for 30 people, that at least now I have a bit of a sense on your impact.
Okay. But if it's like, let's say it's organizations, MPLCC, or co-ops, then I don't have to list the names. I can just also give the number then.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Vuyo, there is a question here. She wants to know if you guys also assist in terms of proposal writing trainings.
Yes, this is what I'm doing now. And that's why I'm taking some few of other stuff that I've seen. Yes, we do so, but I don't have everyone's email, but I think I did see an email that you had sent T with everyone included. Perhaps maybe I can reply all and attach all the documents that I'm referring to, but it's a number of other documents. It's not just proposals, it's writing reports, how to keep track of your expenditure as well. So it's quite a number of them. Yeah.
No, I think that's good. Where you are not able to access those, we have got a database of around 1,000 members. So we should be able to also share with all those ones so that they can also benefit from this. But I think you have really done well. People are starting to share their emails on the chat box, which is good. Vuyo, thank you so much for your time. And I think you have done so well. I think everyone in this group will really appreciate the impact and the assistance that you have given us, which then means you must expect, obviously, applications from these participants who are here. We'll make sure that really they come through. Is there anything that you think before we close, you might want to bring it forward?
Or if anything, yeah, people can just let me know. Then always willing to assist.
Okay, colleagues, I see Tinyiko. Tinyiko, please take over.
Hi,
Tinyiko, it's very difficult to hear you. Are you able to maybe just be a little bit clear?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think it's much way better. Vuyo, can you hear him?
Yes.
So I just wanted to ask, right? For instance, I've noticed that you partner with some organizations such as YMED, and you prefer partnering with non-profit organizations and perhaps maybe offer the training by yourself.
I could not hear you properly. I'm not sure if you can be able to repeat. I've only heard you talking about that we partner with organizations such as YMED. Yes, that's correct. We do partner with, not the partnering, but YMED is also one of the organizations that we are currently supporting, and I think we've been doing so for almost 2 years now.
All right. So besides supporting, are you able to partner with organizations?
I think you are in a very noisy space. I think you're in a very noisy space. Can you just get closer to your device?
Let me just try to. Can you hear me now?
Now you are very much clear, my brother.
Can you?
Yes, I can.
Is it fine now?
Yeah.
So my question is, are you able to partner with organization and perhaps just offer the training by yourself?
Yes, yes, I'm able to do so. Yes, I do so.
Is that clear?
Yes, 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 we do partner. And I also don't work alone. I do have colleagues who are also doing more or less similar stuff that I'm currently doing with you guys as well. Yeah, but we do also partner with to be able to support other organizations to apply. Yeah, it's something that YMED, I think I know for sure they are already doing it as it is.
All right. So the thing is, for instance, my organization might not need. Sorry, it's raining here and it's very heavy. So my organization is in Gauteng in Pretoria. The what do you call, the headquarters is in Pretoria, but we also have branches in other provinces, right? But then
Yes.
I just needed to know if you are able to actually just offer the training by yourselves as an organization to non-profit organizations without funding them or without supporting them financially.
Yes, yes, yes. We've been doing so, but to be quite honest, we first prioritize the ones that we are currently funding, because sometimes there's also space and time capacity as well, constraints that we have to deal with. But yes, we do so when we have the time.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I understand. We do have the space. The only thing we would need, perhaps, it would be the facilitators that can train, because what we want to do is we want to get into. We work with substance abuse program people whom we want to take into the recycling program. But then the reason we applied with you is because we want to get an organization that can assist us in the training. So if you can actually just assist us directly with the training, then that will be amazing.
Yeah, whenever we do have the capacity, and also sometimes remember there's also an expertise issue, but if we do have the expertise and the capacity, yes, we do assist where we can.
All right,
Because
thank
maybe
you,
it might be that is something that none of us maybe internally have an expertise on. Then either what we would do is to try and get you to another organization that we sometimes work with and partner to see if they can assist you. If we can't, and then because it's also an expertise issue. We're not experts in everything.
No, I understand.
There are
Thank
things
you
that
so much.
I'm not familiar with as well. Mental health, like you guys are doing, for instance.
All right, I understand.
Thank you
You
so
can
much, Tenyeko.
I did put my organization details on the charts. You may check I Mentor You Foundation, then maybe you can see what we do.
Thank you so
Yes, I
much,
know it.
Tenyeko.
Sorry?
I'm saying I know it.
Oh, you know it. Oh, amazing. All right, yeah. So, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Tenyeko, for your questions. And I'm happy Vuyo tried by all means to clarify. Colleagues, I want to channel this meeting to a closure now. I'm only left with 6 minutes. I want to open the floor for the last time. From there, I'll then give Vuyo to give us closing remarks, and then we will close the meetings. Anyone with a question, colleague? If there's anyone with questions from the floor, just the last ones, as we are now channeling the meeting to a closure. Okay. It doesn't look like we still have more questions, Vuyo. You will then.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Uncle. How are you?
We are okay. Is Miriam? Miriam, you can take the floor.
Okay, thank you so much for taking such an initiative and briefing us. We thank you for this opportunity. However, we came in late. The network was so bad. We kept on coming in and out. Is there a way maybe of us maybe getting the slides or a recording?
I don't think we recorded. Chair, you can correct me.
I think it's recorded, Vuyo.
Okay,
the session is
yes,
recorded.
please.
You will have to give us the approval, Vuyo, if we can share the recording. But it is recorded.
Yes, yes, we can do so.
Okay, thank you so much. Colleagues, we will share the recording because the session is recorded, but also Vuyo will give us the slides.
Okay, thank you so much.
Maybe
Yeah,
just
so-
one thing, maybe just one thing that maybe I didn't speak about, but it's not really on the project itself, just as I'm parting down. On your references, please avoid listing in your references in your proposal people who are your friends or your family members or members of your own organization. Please at least ask someone else, and not the ones that that you know that close. I mean, I have reasons why I normally do so. It's quite because one of the things we do after receiving the applications, we do a reference check. I mean, some of the responses I've been receiving, they are not, I mean, they have not done too good for the organizations themselves. Yeah, so try, because we also want to at least to speak to someone who can give a very objective picture of your organization. If I'm your friend or a close family member, or maybe some people who list their secretary and their chair, I'm not sure if a secretary can be able to give me something, you know, objective about your organization other than the good stuff only, or objective stuff at least. They can't give me an objective reference. So at least try not to do that. And I think the last part is speak to whoever that it is that you intend to list as a reference first before submitting your application. Because the kind of things I sometimes hear when I speak to people that you guys sometimes list as references is quite, it's quite shocking. Because sometimes you just put whoever that you, but at least speak to the person before. Let me just maybe give you that kind of an advice as well, because some of the things that people say are quite damaging. So I think it's important to do that. To do that. I think maybe those are just a few things that I really just wanted to say, but I think a lot of the stuff you will find it in the document that I've shared. I've sent them mostly with you. Maybe you can take the honor of being able to share also with everyone else.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vuyo. And I think we will share with all our 1,000 members, but you are also getting a special invitation. You must be part of the network so that you also assist with other things that the colleagues might want clarity on. Colleagues, thank you so much for coming through. We understand that this is entirely to assist you so that you get clarity and you are able to get, the support that you will get. And Vuyo, I must thank you, my brother, for coming through. It is really an honor to host you. We're looking forward to do these similar sessions, obviously with this group and more other people. Like I'm saying, we've got 1,000 people. There might be a lot of issues that are really related to climate change that other members might want to know. We are extremely happy and we are humbled by your commitment. We also want to encourage you to continue to do the work that you do so that we save our planet. From the Universal Greening Network, we are extremely happy and we're wishing all of you so that when you go apply this fund, you can be the lucky ones and get it. We want to see you in the next future having succeeded in your programs. From us, we wish you all the best. And Vuyo, thank you so much for your time. We are now officially closing this meeting. The meeting is adjourned.
Sure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Rolibuwa ngamanda, ndizvone.
Izvone.